Hey guys, as some of you know, I had the opportunity of a lifetime to go to Leica HQ for Leica 100. This is the 100th anniversary of their first commercial camera that they sold in 1925, the Leica 1 Model A. And this was really an amazing experience. It really was. I mean, first and foremost, I want to thank Sunil Kaul, who's the managing director of Leica Asia Pacific. Sunil, thank you so much for having me there. And to the entire Leica Singapore team, thank you for the hospitality and for everything that you guys do. It really means a lot. I greatly appreciate it. And, you know, if you've never been to Leica HQ, there's so much passion from the employees to the photographers, the people that are there. They really love where they work. They really love what they do. And there's not a camera company that I know that's like this. I mean, it's just something special. And when I was there right before the auction, by the way, this is the auction where the second most expensive camera ever sold happened for 7.2 million euro in total. 6 million plus all the fees and the taxes, 7.2 million euro. I got to hold the camera, by the way. I was nervous. But before that, I got to speak to two fantastic gentlemen, Dr. Ronny Fritsche, who is the Chief Operations and Technology Officer for Leica, and Alexander Sedlak, who's in charge of the Leica auctions. And they took the time to talk to me about Leica's past, present, and future. And so we've got a nice little podcast here. It's about 23 minutes long. We're walking through the Leica Classic store where all the auction items were held. We're going to show you some very rare cameras. We're going to talk about Leica's direction with technology, partnerships, and where they're going in the future. And of course, Leica Watch. So guys, if it's in the morning for you, grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax. And if it's in the evening, get a glass of wine and enjoy. And by the way, Hugh Brownstone, this Leica grip you made is absolutely fantastic. Guys, enjoy. I have a very special treat for you here. I'm at Leica HQ. Of course, we're here for the 100th anniversary. And I'm with Dr. Ronny Fritsche.
Yes, that's right.
And Alexander Sedlak. Yes, now you're part of the auctions, right?
Yes, I'm running the auction.
It's already happened at the time you're watching this video, but it's happening today.
Yeah.
And we're excited. There's pieces I want to buy, but I don't know if it looks good. It looks too good. We'll talk about that. Yes. And Dr. Ronny, obviously you're talking about product development, past, present, future.
Yes.
And then obviously we have something on the wrist as well that both of you have, which I don't have, which I'm quite jealous about.
Yeah, look at this.
The watch.
Beauty. Ooh. It's a beauty.
We're going to talk about all those in a bit. Is it the same model? Are we wearing the same model?
It is pretty much the same.
See, I didn't get invited to this party. I'm a little upset, but that's okay. We'll work on that. But let's say we want to take a little bit walk down memory lane to the past, the present, and a little bit of the future. Let's do that. So, Ronny, obviously you're in product development, right?
Yeah. So I'm in charge for the whole, operational parts, but also technology and innovation.
Yes.
So this is my home turf, and I mean, if you look at these wonderful cameras here, you can see all the evolution. And I mean, 100 years ago we started. This whole thing kicked off. Yeah, this is why we are celebrating 100 years of continuous camera production, and this is where Leica really hit the market. And then you see, like it all began, and funny enough, even if you look over time, the things, they got more kind of, evolved and fine-tuned, but the basic style of the camera is pretty much the same. And Alex, maybe you would like to give us some kind of more details on how it all started.
First of all, I agree. I think the DNA of Leica is historically grounded in this iconic design and great usability and the exceptional quality, because you can see here a camera. It's a prototype. Mm-hmm. It's from 1923, so 2 years before the Leica 1 was launched to the public. So it is a link between the Ur-Leica from 1914 and the serial production of the Leica 1. It's between. Only 22 pieces have been made. And we guess that only about half of them are still existing in some museums in the US and in selected collections. Mm-hmm. And we see the quality because this camera, although it still remains in its original condition, is fully mechanically working.
So you test all this out before it goes into auction?
And I would say 99% of all these slots, and in total there are more than 400, are fully usable and working and have clear optics, so you can start working with it if you place the right bit.
That's fascinating. Exactly. Placing the right bit is essential to it. So let's talk a little bit about this for a second, because there's obviously other camera brands out there, but none have this sort of this craftsmanship.
This is it.
That makes it so unique, right?
If you consider you have maybe a 60-year-old camera at home, maybe you inherited it from your grandpa.
Sure.
Yeah, and then now you say, well, I would like to get it checked by Leica. I would like maybe to get it serviced, to get it maybe a little bit repaired, if you like. This is possible. We do that. And nobody else is doing
That's what I noticed too. There's other camera manufacturers out there, that are still in existence today that have vintage cameras from the 50s and 60s, et cetera. But you can no longer service them from the respective factories.
No, exactly. And if you then see our craftsmen in the customer care department, we had one colleague, he went into retirement in January this year after 50 years of service with Leica, 50 years. Imagine all the experience he gathered over time and all the details. I mean, these cameras, this is hundreds of pieces.
Yeah.
And you have to know all the little things, how they are set together. And this is really the special thing about Leica.
So Alex, in terms of the auctioning and the value of cameras, right? Do you notice obviously a trend going upwards in terms of people, obviously people buy the auction various different items out throughout the world, but do you see a more of an increase in collecting cameras and these kind of optics and lenses and camera bodies now?
Yeah, I would say yes, because our customer base is growing auction by auction, lucky-wise.
Yeah.
And also the bids, when we take a look, for example, at the series, which we have seen before,
right.
We have the pleasure that this is the 4th time that we are auctioning a series. We started in 2016 with 1.3 million.
Wow.
And 2 years later, it was already 2.1, then 2.4, and 40.4. Okay, this was because of the provenance of Oscar Barnack. Mm-hmm. And now we will see where we'll end up today, but hopefully also a significant amount for this historical piece.
Now, you're going to have bidders from all over the world happening today. So while we're here in Wetzlar, of course, a lot of us are here celebrating the 100th anniversary. You got people on the phones all over bidding.
Exactly.
Exactly. We have several possibilities to place a bid, as you mentioned, here in the auction room or by the phone or online via our platform, Leitz-auction.com.
Okay. Interesting. Now, I mean, Leica's had a very interesting history over the years because obviously with the rangefinder with the M3 in the 1950s and kept going on, but then obviously with the introduction of the SLR, that kind of changed the dynamics a bit. Then you brought in the Leica Flex and the SL and so forth like that. Talk to us a little bit about that middle ground of history with Leica and also how it equates to the value and where you see the brand.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when also obviously the Japanese picked up.
Yep.
Competition started pretty much. I mean, couple of decades, Leica was the kind of dominant player, the first mover, like it's called today, and then obviously this is where also Leica had to kind of raise and up their game.
Yeah,
and this is, but also funny enough, a time when also the Japanese really pushed us. On the one hand, Leica itself, they also started kind of speeding up and looking, hey, we're not alone anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and this is still valid today. We established also relationships with some of these Japanese manufacturers and companies, and also talked about collaboration, sharing some know-how, and so they learn from us, we learn from them, and this is why we are still today. There's this big Japanese group of manufacturers out there, and then there's Leica. I'm just coming from a meeting because, as Alex said, we have more than 40 nations here right now. And also, I'm just coming from a meeting with some Japanese partners where we also still do have collaborations still today.
If you want to get into the Leica world, into this collectible world, that you say, this might be a great
to step into.
Yeah, to step into.
Yeah, maybe a normal M3. You can get one for 1,500 to 2,000 in a good condition, fully working, so you can use it and you can start your collection with maybe the M series, which were launched in 1954.
I actually have one from 54.
I
have a serial number below 5,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got it with the box, and I found out it was sold in Spain in May in 1954.
Maybe that's also something for all the people who are really looking into starting a collection, that you also look for that you get some kind of heritage, that you maybe have the box in a good shape as well.
Yes, not bad,
You maybe know something about who did own this camera, where did it come from? Because, for example, we have our archives, and part of the whole provenance of the camera and the value of it is at the end of the day that we can prove who originally bought it, where was it shipped to, and all of these kind of details which really give you an idea where the origin of the camera has been. Yeah?
That's quite amazing.
But this was a good example, the M3, because when we take a look here, I have mentioned you can step into the brand with an M3 for 1,500 to 2,000. But when you take a very old one, so one of the first, like you can see here, because Leica started with the M3 with 700,000.
Yes.
So this is the 27th.
Wow.
Yeah? And such a camera, I think, will go for 300,000. And then we have another historical
starting bid's
piece.
€80,000, by the way, just starting, right? Just to get you,
And here you have the very first serial numbered M camera. It's the round serial number 700,000. So this is a piece of historical significance in the history of Leica. And maybe we will see here a surprise today. So
that should probably
we will come over this estimation price. I think we have already bids for 500,000.
Sure, it might even hit $1 million. Do you think? Do you think it would hit $1 million or close?
I would say we have an estimate price, and at the moment this is our estimation, but maybe there is some room for a surprise.
Okay.
And I think this is obviously what's really getting serious, in terms of collecting value and really. This is the creme de la creme, because I don't think anyone's ever seen this one, right? Before. This is the first time there's people are seeing it in public. Exactly.
Wow.
And our collectors are so passionate. I think 1 or 2 auctions before, we only auctioned this presentation box for €3,000.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. So
now you have
the camera comes with this presentation.
So the box is included with this.
Yeah.
One. Oh, that's good. At least the box is included.
It's a nice upgrade. Yeah.
So you can bid 1 million and you can get the box.
I will call somebody. I don't know who, but I'll call somebody. But speaking of the lens on this, because we was an announcement yesterday at the time we were talking about this 3.5 field 50 millimeter lens, right? You're bringing this back, aren't you?
Yes, exactly.
Not this one.
Not this exact one. No.
Not the exact.
Yeah. We have to go over there.
Yeah. Let's have a look at it.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look.
See here, this lens. This is the legendary 3.5 50 millimeter anastigmat lens. So all the prototypes were equipped with this lens, and then also the Leica 1. Mm-hmm. And this is also very interesting. This is a serial camera already, and it's the 100th serial produced camera, because Leica started with the number 126, the serial production. This is 225, so it's the 100th. And this camera has this anastigmat. Yeah. But only a few of the Leica 1 were equipped with their anastigmat, because it was very complicated to produce. That's why this camera is very expensive.
Gotcha.
And this lens we have redesigned, and we will put on this anniversary M11D in the set.
There's only a couple hundred lenses made of this, or very few.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's extremely rare.
Exactly, and that drives collector's value.
Yes. So now with the new M11D for the 100th anniversary, you guys kind of went back to the archives to sort of...
Exactly. And we said, hey, guys, what did we do on the origin? Yeah, and hey, why not kind of give it a refresher and do something similar, but just as of today's standards, so to say, and get this out.
Oh, that's fascinating.
When Leica introduced this camera in 1925, nobody knew if the customers will be interested in it, because some of the customer or of the photographs thought that this is more a toy and not a camera. But in the first year, we already sold 1,000. And this version with the anastigmat, only around about 100 to 150 has been made. And then they switched to the Elma and Elmax lens.
Gotcha.
Which was easier to produce.
I understand.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Let's fast forward to the future a little bit, because let's talk a little bit down this road here, because this room is amazing. This is the classic store normally, where people would buy vintage or secondhand.
Exactly.
Now you kind of transformed it into this auction piece.
And by the way, also we buy from people. So we have regularly people coming with their cameras and asking, okay, guys, what do you estimate this camera? And maybe, they sell it to us, because also we obviously then later on maybe auction it or maybe put it into our archives bag if it's an interesting piece, something like that.
Oh, fantastic. Let's talk about lenses for a second here, because the amount of lenses that you guys have, I mean, we talked from the 53.5 all the way up. What's a lens here that you think it's?
I think from me, the kind of nowadays classic one, which is the most, I feel like most beloved from our customers, is the 35 millimeter for the M camera, the Apo Summicron. I think that is one obviously which is a nice combination a lot of people tell me this is my go-to lens.
Yes.
I do not carry like 5 or 10 different pieces with me. This is the one. And also in terms of the flexibility you can use it for, no matter if you do like more close-up shots or like more like scenery. This is the one most people give us the feedback. Hey, this is my go-to piece.
So here we have a lot of great pieces. What's the lens here? You talked to 35. And Alex, also to tell me as well, what's the lens here that you guys say is some people need to try this? It's so special from Leica because, obviously we have the 35, the 50s, a lot of the major focal lengths, but something here that might be very interesting for somebody to look at and go, ooh, this is going to render beautifully.
I would say a benefit for a Leica user is, first of all, that you can put every M lens from the 50s on a modern digital camera.
Right.
And every lens has a special attitudes. And if you ask me, for example, a very interesting lens would be a Noctilux from the 60s.
And do you have any of those on for auction today?
We have a lot of lenses, also Noctilux, I think, but honestly, I have to search for it.
Oh, the condition of this is fantastic.
Like new, there's the start price is 12.
Oh, 12,000. Okay. So 12,000, you can get your foot in the door. Just get a bit in, get a bit in.
But then you have really a historic piece, which is really kind of, well known.
The first spherical lens that you guys made, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And then from there, obviously the F1s, and then the 0.95, and then the 75. This is beautiful. May I?
Yeah, sure.
Just feel free.
That is gorgeous. That is.
And this is such a sought after lens that we have decided to make a re-edition 2 years ago, which is available in our store. And then when you take a look, maybe we can do it later, and you put this lens on a Leica M3 of the 50s, and then beside a digital M11 with the redesign, it looks exactly the same. This is this iconic design which is valued by our customers.
I want to speak about the M3 for a second. Here's a question for you, Ronny, because I have an M3. It's one of my favorite viewfinders, 0.9 magnification, but Leica's never gone back to that. Is there a reason why?
No specific reason. I think with the portfolio being so wide, it was simply until now not really on the agenda to say, hey, why not do it? I mean, if there's enough people telling us, hey, let's do it.
Yeah.
I think we definitely would be open to that.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously I know it was limited to the 50 millimeter frame lines, and I think it was 50 and 90, if I'm not mistaken. What was the M3? Was it just 50? Or
I think it was just the 50.
Just 50, okay. Yeah. And then previously the M2 opened up to 35.
Exactly. But like we said, nowadays, and especially also with this L-mount alliance, there's so many lenses available, and this is kind of where it's sometimes difficult. I mean, Alex was talking about the only 120-ish pieces for the original one, for the Anastigmat. And because there's obviously also a certain risk, because if you develop it and you have to do all the toolings and the development and everything, and if you then only sell 120-ish whatever pieces, that's kind of a tough cookie to swallow.
Understand. Okay. The future of Leica.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got now different partners from companies like Insta360 and Xiaomi, and getting into the mobile space and the technology space. Where do you see Leica going? And I mean, obviously cameras will still be there, but where do you see Leica going in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years?
I think, first of all, what's important for Leica is to stick to our DNA. And Leica has always been about the essential, das Wesentliche, and also about being unique. Yeah, not necessarily being like everyone else. So no matter what we do, we will add our kind of distinctive style to it and this kind of craftsmanship aspect. So, of course, then if you talk, I mean, there's no other thing like in cell phones, mobile phones, like technological advancement. Every half year, there's next chips, next sensors, next whatever, you name it. And this is also why we joined forces there with some external partners as well, because we are not specialists for cell phones.
Right.
But we have the know-how and experience in terms of optical design and in all the image pipeline, how to refine a picture. Also, obviously, since the last 15 to 20 years in terms of digital imagery, which obviously was also a big game changer for the company. So this is definitely one space. And funny enough, a lot of people ask us, hey, the cell phone, this smartphone, this is your biggest enemy. And we don't think so. Actually, we think it's an entry ticket, so to say, for people to take pictures, obviously more like snapshot style. And over time, they will say, well, if I want to take a really nice picture, that could be the entrance then to maybe buy a proper camera.
That's what I was thinking. It's a gateway to get you into this world of Leica.
Exactly. Okay. So we think it's not either or, it's both at the same time. I think there is also in the future, and we see it also now in the numbers coming back for digital cameras. Everyone is telling us, you guys will be dead. And I think that's also part of the vision of Dr. Kaufmann when the Kaufmann family jumped in 21 years ago, that he said, no, we think there is a certain space for that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So that is the one thing. Obviously, there's other parts of the business. We are talking about smart projection, laser TV, yeah? So everything which is related to kind of visual, optical experiences and the joy of recognizing the world around you. That is pretty much where we're going to.
Okay.
So obviously, electronics is a big topic. Software is a big topic. Connectivity is a big topic. All of that, AI.
AI, yes, indeed.
And funny enough, most people don't know that actually Leica was the first camera manufacturer to create this content authenticity initiative where we can prove, and everybody can prove online, that the picture is original.
Yeah.
That it's not manipulated. Or if it's kind of manipulated, you can see what has happened to the picture.
Right.
Or if it was AI generated whatsoever. And I think, and we believe, that this is even more important in the future. So the more artificial stuff is out there, the more people will be looking for genuine human stuff.
Fantastic.
Meeting people in person, having some really nice picture, taking time for something because the world is accelerating.
When you take a look at this watch,
Yes.
it's around about 250 parts, the movement. Yeah. And when you take a look at the mechanical M3 or the new version is now the MP or the M6. It's also around about 250 parts. So it's both mechanical, and this is a core competence from Leica since the 20s. So, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Ernst Leist, two Ernst Leist, the first, right?
The first.
He studied watchmaking, correct?
Exactly. He was studying in Switzerland.
You are very good informed.
Did your homework?
I try.
So he was actually in Switzerland and looking into this whole watch manufacturing industry. And this is where this kind of fine mechanics and craftsmanship started. But then obviously we took a different route into the camera business then. But this is really where there's a lot of similarities between these pieces. On the other hand, you have to figure out and see that even a modern M11P camera has about 1,100 pieces, of which 500 are assembled manually.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is also very special about Leica. We have our people, our craftsmen, who are a lot of times 30, 40 years with the company. And everyone who is visiting us here in our headquarters can have a look through production. Yeah, people are there and people can show you what is really behind that. And I think, and we believe that this is really part also of the DNA and will always be, even if technology is advancing.
So with the Leica watch, obviously you've got movements, you've got very finely crafted movements, the casing, everything, the dial. Where do you see Leica Watch going? Because this is a very challenging marketplace.
True.
Price points.
Yes.
I mean, you have all the Swiss watchmakers around the world.
Yeah.
Where do you see Leica Watch in terms of collectability, value as an auction into the auction perspective, but also in terms of product design? Where do you see it going?
Yeah, I mean, from a product design perspective, obviously, you have to also adapt to trends. So, for example, we are just now launching new editions where the color scheme is a little bit more adopted to what's on trend right now, what will be on trend 2 years from now. Obviously, this is part of the whole evolution. Right. But at the same time, we believe that this whole business of watchmaking is also about the core DNA. For example, even on the watch, you have the famous red dot.
Of course.
Yeah, and we have a patented solution here. Push the button.
Yes.
You do not take it out, the crown, but you push it. Yeah, and this is, for example, these are these kind of little tweaks which are then Leica specific. And we believe in the future that also people will appreciate that Leica does something, but with a certain kind of Leica twist to it, so to say.
Connection to it. The domed glass is like the Noctilux a little bit, as Ronny mentioned, the red dots, and the usability is very, very
legible,
and very practical.
It is very easy to wear.
I think from my point of view, it was very important to start with an in-house developed movement.
Yes.
Yeah. With these special features to have a good start. And if you ask for auction, I will show you. This is a very limited gold version.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Of the ZM1.
Beautiful. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So this is our first Leica watch in our auction. Yeah.
The first one in the auction. The history of auction. Oh, that's fantastic. Beautiful. That is a stunning piece. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time today. I know you're very, very busy. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Alexander. Thank you.
Well, it has been
Ronny,
a pleasure.
pleasure. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys.
Really.
Thank you, guys. Like always, if you like, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for the hospitality. We greatly appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
100 years with Leica, and all the best on the auction.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.